Hey Guardians, Mando here, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over my guide to Solstice 2024, as it is a little different than last year and can be a bit confusing. So, let's get into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is go to the tower and speak with Eva Levante and pick up the Solstice Forge that she gives you. Once you have done that, she's going to ask you to choose a bounty from the forge. Now, you can only choose one bounty per each category that you would like to complete, and then load up the Bonfire Bash. If you're unfamiliar with how this event works, you just basically kill enemies until they drop igniters, and then you pick up those igniters and throw them at the bonfire in the middle of the map. For those of you that have been through the Solstice before, you may notice that the targeting for throwing these igniters is not the same as it used to be, and that the tracking for it is not as strong as it previously was. So try to line up those shots just a little bit more before throwing them at the fire. Once you've completed one of the first bounties that you picked up, you'll be asked to return to Eva Levante at the tower and speak with her, and she will then grant the ability to refresh the different rows of bounties for each of the pieces of armor, as well as give you some silver leaves to do your first refresh. Go ahead and take a look at all the different category rows and see if there is a row of bounties that you don't see any that you would like to complete, and refresh the row. Upon doing this, you'll see a new quest that asks you to get 100 alloy for one of the pieces of armor. Alloy is gained by completing the bounties from each of the rows. You can only hold one bounty for each row at a time, and different bounties are worth different amounts of alloy. What you'll want to do is go through each of the rows and select bounties that you can complete at the same time. You can also refresh the rows to have new bounties available. Now, to refresh rows of bounties as well as buy bounties, you will need silver leaves. How you get silver leaves is by completing activities in the game and Bonfire Bash. The best way to farm silver leaves is probably still checkpoint swapping the final boss of Shattered Throne. But you don't really have to do this, obviously, if you're going to be grinding for Solstice weapons, which I'll touch on at the end of the video. Once you have 100 alloy for a piece of armor, you'll need to acquire the Ingot Quest from the Solstice Forge. This can be found at the very far right of each of the rows. This will give you a quest which will ask you to re-enter Bonfire Bash and to complete it. And at the end, you'll be able to pick up the piece of armor from the forge. Upon doing that, you want to return to Eva Levante once again and pick up another quest which has 36 steps. Now, this might seem like a lot, but really all this quest is asking you to do is to do what you just did for one piece of armor, except do it for all the other pieces of armor, as well as obtain the glow for each of the pieces of armor. Once you have picked up your first armor piece, you'll be able to start working towards getting the glow for each armor piece, which requires you to play Bonfire Bash, and to stoke the bonfire 20 times as well as obtain 50 alloy for that armor piece. Once this is completed, you will be rewarded with an incandescent ingot, which allows you to apply the glow to that particular piece of Solstice armor. Also, once you've forged a single piece of armor, you will also be able to farm high stat Solstice armor through the Forge daily bounties. And eventually, when you have forged an entire set of armor, bounties will award Solstice weapons with bonus perks to them. So this will drop those weapons and have an extra perk in the third and even the fourth column. Speaking of weapons, this year we have a new weapon in the form of a void bow called Fortunate Star. Older weapons are also returning, such as Something New, Crowning Duologue, and Compass Rose, all with updated perk pools as well as the ability to be enhanced. Compass Rose in particular is a weapon I think many PvP players are going to like, with some of the perks that you can get on it and the fact that it can be enhanced. Well, Guardians, that's all for this one. If you found this video helpful, be sure to leave a like, and consider subscribing if you would like to see more videos like this. But, for now, I'll see you in the next one.